For this build, you're going to be getting unlimited shield bashes when dealing with champions, tormentors, or mini bosses in Destiny 2, because the Peregrine Greaves got a rework this season. And the rework is that whenever you kill mini bosses, tormentors, or champions with your shoulder charge, it would refund your melee energy all the way back. That's the rework for this exotic armor piece, and many people are having fun using this, including myself as well. Because the gameplay that you're seeing on screen, I was running a Master Nightfall, and I was one-shotting every single champion. One, because I'm weakening champions with the grenade that I'm using for this build, and also with Peregrine Greaves tied to that as well, and also getting overshields, which increases your melee damage even more. Without further ado, let's head to the Titan subclass, aka the Sentinel. The super you're going to be using is Word of Dawn, because we are going to use that ties to the aspect we're going to be using. For the abilities, I do recommend using Rally Barricade because of the base cooldown, it's shorter. The Void Melee, Shield Bash, of course you got to use it for that one shot, one kill. For the Void Grenades, got to go for Vortex Grenade. For the aspects, you got to go for Bastion to give you an overshield, which we're going to be needing to use for this build if you want to deal increased melee damage. And the main one for this build is Offensive Bulwark. Whenever you have an overshield or whenever you're inside of Ward of Dawn, your grenade charges significantly faster, but here's the best part. You have increased melee range and damage, and melee final blows extend the duration of your overshield. So the more melees you can get with your melee, the more overshields you're going to be receiving. Now for the Fragments, here are the main ones you're going to need to use for this build. The first one is Echo of Undermining. It weakens targets whenever you throw your grenade at them. Then the second one is Echo of Starvation. Whenever you pick up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power, it will grant you Devour. The third one is Echo of Persistence. This one increases the duration for Overshields and Devour. Last but not least is Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. So both of those are going to give us Devour, which is going to be pretty gnarly. And the exotic weapon I'm using for this build is the Sunshot, because we have seasonal artifacts that will tie to the Sunshot, which makes it broken when dealing with adds. And this is also a hand cannon, which means we can stun unstoppable champions this season. As what you see here on screen, these are the seasonal artifact mods that I was using for this build. I might as well, we're talking about the artifact mods. Here are the main ones that you're going to need to use for the Sunshot. There's going to be 3 of them. One of them would help you buff your damage even more, and the other ones are for ad clearing. This one will allow you to get Radiant whenever you deal precision hits or get rapid solar weapon final blows. So that would increase your damage for your weapons and also your abilities as well. The next one allows you to scorch combatants whenever you're Radiant, but it would only affect the combatants that are unscorched. So that one is good for your Sunshot, and the next one is also good for your Sunshot as well. Whenever you're Radiant, solar precision final blows causes combatants to ignite. This one is extremely good when dealing with adds if you want to get that satisfying ignition kill. And also in the gameplay that you're seeing on screen, I was using a rocket launcher because in this season we have overload rocket launchers, and did you know that it actually deals 80% increased damage to overload champions? Who would have thought? And now onto the stats for this build. I do recommend going for resilience. That's your main priority because it reduces your damage taken from combatants, and you're on Titan, it also reduces your class ability cooldown, aka your barricade, which we're going to need to use a lot if you want to deal more melee damage. And the second one, you could go for discipline for your vortex grenades to weaken champions. And now if you would like to copy the armor mods that I have currently on the screen right now, go for it. But all of the armor mods will be in the link in the description, aka the dim link. Be sure to check it out. If you guys would like to know how you can be able to use this build, here's what you need to do. What you're first going to want to do is get an overshield. You can either get it from your Rally Barricade or your bubble. Either or would work. Once you have that, be sure to stun that champion. Once you do, throw your vortex grenade to weaken the champion to deal extra melee damage. And as soon as you have your overshield and the weakened champion on, run towards the champion to proc the Peregrine Greaves buff, and then you'll for sure insta-kill the champion. But let's just say you don't insta-kill the champion, but that champion is finishable. So what you need to do is, of course, finish the champion, and you'll be granted your melee charge back. And if you guys would like to see more builds that are under 5 minutes, be sure to hit that like and sub button. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I do have another video that's under 5 minutes as well if you guys are interested. It is on the Solar Warlock that would give you basically Starfire Protocol back in the day. You know how that was, right? So that build will give you that. If you would like to check it out, it will be right here on screen or in the link in the description. If you guys like build videos that are straight to the point, that are under 5 minutes, be sure to hit that like and sub button because I know you guys' time is precious. So that's why I'm trying to make videos that are under 5 minutes to make it easier for you to understand and get out there in the battlefield in Destiny 2 to dominate the enemies.